Hello, it's Jang here with a look at a LEGO Marvel superhero set. This is from Avengers Age of Ultron. It's the Avengers Quinjet City Chase. Comes with 722 pieces. This has been released to the public, and as always, I bought it at full retail price. And if you have any questions, you can check out the video description. This here is the new version of the Quinjet, and I personally am loving this piece right here. It does have a large sticker over the front face of it, but this is a really good piece to get in this darker bluish color, the transparent dark blue rather than just the trans light blue. This whole canopy opens up very nice and neat and easily because it's not attached with any studs. It's just completely hinged, and inside of there you can see that you have a pretty nice low stud count with your fairly cushy looking seating arrangement, a couple of control levers here. You also have a sticker on this 1x2 cheese slope piece for a console, and they have just the two jumpers, so you've got two studs to attach your minifigure in there to use as a pilot, which makes it easier to get a pilot in and out rather than using a full 4 studs. Up on top they use another fairly specialized large piece, but I feel like this is used to great effect right here in the dark blue color because it really takes the shape from the narrower front section to the wider section and just transitions perfectly. They could have done something similar with a bunch of smaller pieces, and I usually am in favor of the use of more small pieces, but this I feel is just really done well. Plus it makes it much quicker to put together, and all of this is able to open up. There's an additional feature involved with that open section there. Right now it's just completely open and empty, but we'll take a look at the special thing in a minute. The ship can shoot. It has 2 of these stud shooters, one on either side, and they do include some extra ammo to use with that. Those are fairly well concealed, and you'll see another stud shooter that's concealed even better than that. Nice angles used back here with all the different joints that they bring in, using clip-based pieces and bar-based pieces to shape the winglets and the main wings themselves. I like how they've brought in this section right here. That's very nicely done, how that's actually angled at a 45-degree angle there. And it's nice and tight in there. You can adjust the front just a little bit, but it's pretty well aligned with that. Not a lot of gappiness there. And you've got the wing tips that can be changed in shape completely because of the use of the joints there, so you can completely fold this up if you want to. You know, there's just a lot of interesting things you can do. Something like that. You can fold them all the way in for storage on a ship. You can have it just kind of halfway in between with kind of the gull wing kind of look, or you can just go with the more traditional, just slightly canted downwards. It's got a really nice geometry to the overall model. As you can see, the shape really has flow to it. You know, you can just follow the lines around the edges and everything just goes together and flows together well. Like your eyes are drawn along the lines in very comfortable ways, in my opinion. At the back, you've got the ability to open up this section here, and you can also bring down this kind of ramp to give you just a little more access to some interior space. That has some clips on the walls, so you've got a tool there and a fire extinguisher, and on the other side you've got a couple of open clips for hanging up some weapons there. Ship still looks good from a low angle, and they've done a good thing with the engine outlets there. They've got the little transparent red grill pieces embedded in there to give you a little bit of that glow effect. Again, with the lines on this thing, so many different angles work out really, really nicely and just are aesthetically pleasing. Now, this right here is not so aesthetically pleasing. You've got a big old line with one stud at either end, and that's going to take us into our first action feature. So I've turned the model upside down here to show you that this is intended to be a line, and we're going to have Black Widow be able to rappel down from there, right? That kind of makes sense. But she can start out underneath, and you can drop her from the plane. This is actually the action button to kick her out of there, and when you push down on this, see, she's going to fall down, but she's still attached here. So that's going to allow her to drop down from the plane. It's pretty slick that way. And if you want to make this line a little bit less viewable, even without a minifig in there, you can just kind of try to wind it up a little bit There we go, something like that. Takes a minute to get it all to stay in there, but now it is completely hidden away. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got something else hidden away. Those other stud shooters that I mentioned can be deployed from underneath, and now you've got your little autocannon, which can shoot not only forwards, but other different ways as well. And this doesn't have quite as much range of motion as I would have liked from it, just because of the type of joint that's used there. Even though it is using 2 ball joints, they are a little bit limited in how far that they can turn and be used. But you can turn it a little bit, and this has 2 stud shooters on it. Now this is a cargo bay, which is another action feature of the set. And to really get that to work out properly, I'm gonna have to bring in another feature of the set, or another thing in it. The motorcycle here, this can get loaded into the top. You can actually put Captain America on that in this set because he's able to lean down far enough, and we'll look at that motorcycle up more closely in just a second. But this here, this black tile, is the action feature there. You push on that and it drops the bike out from underneath. It's not always going to stand up. As a matter of fact, most of the time it's not going to stand up, but it is just an interesting way to be able to deploy the thing, and I think that kids will definitely appreciate that for its play value. And it's very slick the way that it's implemented. These actually look nice and smooth for the underside there. Just there we go. Get it to snap into place, and when you push on the button, the doors just open and it just drops the bike right out. And there's that bike with Captain America on it. This is the new 2015 style of bike with the really low profile racing style to it. You see you've got the clip on the back, so Captain America is able to carry along his trademark shield. And if you haven't seen this bike before, this design, they used it in a city set already, and you'll be seeing more of these in the future. It's not just a new cowling on the old chassis, it's a new frame underneath there as well to go with it. And it's got some stud attachments on the sides, which you can just see back behind here. So that's actually built up with the dark blue pieces as well as the grill pieces. And you've got the 2 studs back here. So this thing can be really customized. The one bad thing about it is that, at least with this set, they don't give you good parts to hold this up, you know, kind of training wheel kind of thing, or a cheater bar underneath there. So it has to be balanced on the tires, and it does kind of fall over easily. So that's just the one thing. I think that adding just a jumper onto the base could help to solve that quite a bit. And then lastly, you've got your Cho Research van here, which has the big bar on the front, making it a little extra tough. Got some clips on the side just to represent handles for climbing up into the cockpit, or I guess just the driving compartment. It's got the opening doors on the sides. You can remove the front part of the roof here, and you can see something else is attached to that, but that's going to allow you to see the spot where your driver would go on that side. This whole thing back here is able to angle up, and that can be a spot where you can perch a bad guy figure to be attacked. It's just a good spot to just place a figure. It can just be attached there, and then you can pretend to have something else come by, either shoot at him and make him fall down, or you can use a super jumper, which we'll see in a second, and try to have one of your hero figures come across. Or you could bring Black Widow down on the rope coming down from the Quinjet, and she could knock him back. But it's just something where you can say, now he's okay, and then now he's not. And looking around the back of this thing, you've got the 2 large doors that can be opened up. You've got the chamber in there, and obviously the movie has not come out yet as of the time of the recording of this video, so I don't know the full story behind this and exactly how this is going to be used, but you can attack this. You can attack the van. You can be shooting at it. You can have Iron Man do his thing on it, and you can show damage to this. You can show it being blown open in the back by pushing down right here. And watch this. Watch just how much destruction occurs here. Just completely splits apart. These are good, nice, well-built assemblies here with the medium blue. I appreciate that for the sides. They open up, and it just opens up this area which shows you this canister, this compartment, which can be used to hold a minifigure. I'm assuming that you're either going to have Ultron in here or you're going to have Vision in here. Speaking of all the minifigs, here they are now. Obviously, from left to right, you've got Captain America, then Iron Man, and that's in his Mark 43 suit, Black Widow in the middle, the Ultimate Ultron, which is finally a great version of Ultron in my opinion, and then the last character is Vision. Now Vision does have these softer, the newer, softer style of cape. It's kind of golden there with some metallic kind of coating just to one side, and it's just slightly translucent. A lot of people don't like the softer cloth material for some reason, and I just can't understand that. To me, I think it's a great upgrade over the old crinkly, almost paper-like stuff that just feels cheap and it creases easily. This just flows nicely. I feel like it looks really good. Obviously, Iron Man, as always, can have his face opened up, the front of the mask, to reveal Tony Stark underneath of there. You've got a two-piece covering for the head, the helmet for Ultimate Ultron there. So you've got the lower piece and the upper piece just fits over that. These are both printed. Notice that you've got print on the top, print on the bottom. This is going to make just a great base for a Didact or other Halo Promethean Forerunner, old mock creation custom minifigure. Take a look at these from the back. So you can see that they've got plenty of prints on the back as well. And you can see the print there very easily. Lots of sand green for this Vision figure. And we'll take these off. So there you see Ultimate Ultron doesn't have any printing on the back of the head. It's just got the same print on the front as the other versions. And then you've got a meaner face for Black Widow and for Tony Stark. Lastly, you do get one super jumper piece, which some folks have had trouble with these causing breakages to the legs. If you use it just with minifig legs without these extra cylinders, it does really grasp on there quite well. It clips on very securely, so you just have to be careful not to tear that apart if you want to take your figure off it. But these are a fairly simple thing. They make for a nice little hovering style of display, or you can do the thing that I mentioned earlier with a vehicle or anything like that. Set up one of your bad guy figures up on there. This time I'm going to use Vision instead. And then you just push down on the back here and aim for the bad guy, and kind of separated there, but that does happen sometimes with Iron Man. It did take me a handful of tries to get that figured out, but it works better without using anything on the bottom. The only difference there is that when you don't use this, then you've got that more firm connection between the figure and the base. Well, I really like the Quinjet in this set, which is very much a good thing given that the focus of the set is the Quinjet. I feel like the second most desirable element of this set would be that Ultimate Ultron figure, and I think it looks very good as well. So I feel like the most important things are covered. Then on top of that, you get the vehicle with good play value to it. The motorcycle is, you kind of take it or leave it. It's a little bit awkward to get another new design just into this universe, but I think that it works well, and I like how it integrates into the Quinjet, and more figures, good figures at that. The price per part is also looking pretty good, so overall I feel like this is a good value, and most importantly, just a well-designed set. Most of the stuff here looks good on display, and it has, I feel, more play value than it even needs to be successful as a set that's mostly for kids. I try to give balanced reviews with pros and cons, positives and negatives, but I really don't see any serious negatives to this set at all. As with all products, there will be folks who don't like it, and that's perfectly fine, but I still think that even if you don't like it, doesn't make it a bad set. I think this is still a good set at a good price. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree with that opinion. Please do share your thoughts about the set down in the comment section, and I have many more sets to review, so I'll be talking to you again very soon.